What's going on, everybody? Doc here, Average Gamer Guys, back again. Last Day on Earth action. Let's jump into it. And you know, if you've been watching the channel for a little while, you know I'm a big fan of the drone and trying to find the best uses for the drone and the fact that we get a companion that recharges over time that can really deal out some damage. So today we're jumping in. We're going to take on the last levels of the arena with our drone and our doggo friends helping us out to see how effective they are. In addition, as we jump in, we just did a video just recently about opening every crate at the transport hub. As part of that long video and all of the crates that we opened, we ended up getting an absolute banger of a mod for the drone that I want to jump into because I've had a couple of comments about it. So we're going to do that here at the beginning of this video. Let's jump into that part, and I hope you've been good. Hopefully you've been having a good day. We got lots of Last Day on Earth content to share with you. Our Wasteland Survival series has gotten started. We're deep diving on some different subjects. If there's specific things you'd like to see, let me know about down below. Really want to build that playlist out. Very excited for that. Lots to cover. We've been doing some other things. We're closely approaching the next seasonal event, and we have done a huge grind on this season as well. So I'm actually very excited for the next week or so for the game with everything that we got coming into it. But let's talk about this here really quick. We've been doing a lot of focus on our drone as of late. I think it's important. This is just a fantastic companion, can really do some good damage, and I think has some other really good utility that I'm excited to try out and continue to build. And so what's important to me is obviously getting, drone mods, which we're going to kind of continue to try to push for, do transport hub every reset, and continue to try to hopefully get lucky there. In addition, obviously at the end of every season, picking some stuff up, and maybe in some seasonal events, we'll see if we end up getting any drone mods as well. A little more doubtful on that, but we can always hope. But we've really been focused on, if you recall or have seen from a previous video, we used to have a lot more here to get done. We've really been putting in the work to try to make the components. So one of the things that we can do from a settlement perspective, it is to actually make a handful of these items. Rotors specifically, we can pump out, and then we have some other unique abilities or some other things inside the base to make things like iodine and spices and a few other things that have given us access to this. Drone parts are obviously still difficult to come by, but honestly transport hub is really good for these. You can pick up a handful even without doing the crate, just by fixing the bridge and taking care of this. So we are putting in the work to try to get this done. We're actually very close to one additional mod here. You see that we're one rotor away from getting that done. We're probably going to hold on that because these are just supplemental. But what we ended up being able to pick up over the course of that video was this, which is incendiary bullets, which is extra points to damage and then has a chance to set the enemy on fire. And I will tell you right now, this has been absolutely monstrous for some extra damage. I use my drone very consistently when I go to take on transport hub. It's one of the best ways to help to take down the boss. Can really kind of just ensure that you're going to knock it out easily. Really helps to reduce your wear on your weapons and durability and all that stuff, in addition to reducing the time that you need to kill them, which reduces the time for heals and all that stuff. It's just fantastic. So I'll jump into the modification screen with this just to show you what it does, but this has been so huge. There are a handful of other mods here. One that I would really like to get is armor piercing bullets, just to see what impact this could have on essentially the armor piercing enemies and see how effective this could be in Port Lab. So we need to get lucky and grab this one. I think if I recall correctly, this incendiary bullets was a blue mod. I'm hoping the other two here are the same because that could be good. That could make them a little bit easier to grab, but time will tell. I'm not sure. If you have either one of these, let me know down in the comments below. I'm very interested for that. But we have armor piercing bullets, which again will help us for any of the armored enemies that we've seen in the game. And then we have explosive bullets, which have a chance to cause an enemy to bleed. I think these additional status effects, like being able to set the enemy on fire, absolutely awesome. You get a little bit of additional kind of overtime damage and a little bit of that effect. Really, really, really good. And then obviously there's a handful of there's plenty of other active mods here that we still need to get our hands on to be able to test out and build. And so hopeful that we can get that. There's also some other weapons to give a go here. I think we have one of the better ones, but Saboteur also looks really, really awesome. This is essentially a VSS put on here. The Savage looks like an AK, and then this looks like some type of submachine gun. And all these I think could be really, really, really interesting. Combat stimulants will increase your health while the drone. See, again, there's just so many interesting things about the drone that we want to try out. But let's jump in and let's just talk about this. So we did just recently get powerful motors and heat sensor. So that's cool. But again, I just want to showcase. So look at the damage increase that we get. So already with the boomstick, we get a huge damage increase over just the standard one. This boomstick is absolutely monstrous. This really was probably the biggest thing for our increase in damage with this, and you've seen plenty of videos of me using that. But when we go over to the incendiary mod, you can see that the damage increase on this is just also pretty good. I mean, there's not a whole lot here. And then we are mirroring this up with our target designation, which reduces this chance for it to miss as well as your own chance, helping us to just hit shots more consistently. So we'll showcase this a little bit as we jump into this, but this has just been fantastic. These are really, really good. If you get your hands on any, I think really any of these mods for the ammo, you're going to see a really nice uptick on your drone with that. So with that being said, we're ready, we're geared up. We're going to be bringing just a little bit of stuff. Got some Glocks, got some AKs, some VSSs. We've got a couple of our Genesis weapons to take down the last versions of each of the bosses. We're going to get arena finished up, and we'll jump into it. We'll see you over there. Okay, so we have our drone friend, and again, we have basically taken care of each of these enemies. I didn't want to do the whole full fight just because I didn't want to use batteries for this. We're still trying to kind of stockpile some batteries from some of our previous videos, so I'm working on doing that. In addition, I didn't want to put you through having to just watch me kill all these guys over and over again with our weapons. So we're going to jump in. We've got the last level of each, and we're just going to see how much the drone can help us. I think it's going to be pretty good against Feral Jesse and Lucy Luck is my kind of guess. Gnarly Billy, I'm a little bit concerned about, just from the perspective that we have to stay far enough away from him. I have really kind of refined my fighting technique with old Billy here and being able to just essentially avoid him and have him not hit us. I don't know how effective the drone's going to be with that tactic because we're going to be running. And so the drone has a kind of a situation where it's going to stay pretty close to you for the most part, and it has to kind of set up to quote unquote fire. So we'll have to see, but we're going to give him a go first and see how this goes. So in comes the drone. So 21 damage a shot is relatively low, actually. So this is my concern. So essentially what we can do is we can run away from him. 24 damage a shot. And see, because the drone might have to just get hit in order to see the impact of him. But see, he's on fire right here. We're taking 4 damage per fire hit, which is so good. Dude, that is so good. I don't know if I want to use it again here. I think, again, with some of the strategies and some of the bosses and some of the enemies, like, we can really just do this and just not get hit by this guy. And he won't even spit or anything. And that just... Let's trigger these guys. You can actually even outrun the parasites here if we really wanted to. That guy's just a bullet sponge, but again, if you use the right weapons, it's like a no contest. It's kind of silly, actually. Okay, I'm gonna do this. We'll go and take on the big guy here next. Gnarly Billy's so dumb. We'll take on Jesse here. We're gonna use up some durability on a few weapons. I've done a lot from a base perspective here. Now this guy, I think, actually, we're getting in some decent damage with this, because he'll stay still for the most part. The drone is doing I've just been pretty consistently impressed with the drone and its damage. We've seen just how effective it can be. Gotta dodge that. And again, I think in this instance, trying to have the drone just do everything would be really tough. It would be really tough. With that being said, that certainly shortened this fight, for sure. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that that shortened that fight and made that a little bit easier. We really didn't use much of any weapons. More so use the weapons to take down the additional enemies that dropped in here. So, Lucy Luck, you're gonna get the AK action. Just trap some extra healy billies. I do wish you could get the dog in here. But alas, it is not to be. Nice, we got the fire on her. Get stabbed. Dude, the fire is so good. Ah! AK. Drone. Help me. Help my drone. Finish her off. Get owned. And we saved our AK too. That was pretty good. We'll be able to repair this now. That's it. We did it. Thank you, drone. Thank you, little drone friend. You're such a good little drone. Who's a good little drone? It's so good. It really is. I understand. It is a grind to get this thing. I really do, but I truly understand how effective it can be. And especially with a few weapon mods, you got to obviously get lucky from that perspective. That's still my biggest complaint, is just the availability of weapon mods. Doing the transport hub and some of that stuff is certainly a great way to do that, but we've opened a lot of crates and had a pretty low success rate on actually even finding just basic mods for the thing. Obviously, after every season, being able to get a mod has been really, really nice. I'm hoping there's some additional ways here in the future to grab those, but other than that, fantastic when you get it and you can get it upgraded a little bit with a decent weapon. And now having some of the extra weapon mods on that and the incendiary mod, you saw just how effective it could be from its hits, from the damage it's pumping out. I mean, we're getting 20 something each per shot, and it stays around for a decent amount of time, and is able to put in some damage, and then you get some of the extra sustainable damage on top of it, and it's just awesome. It's just awesome. So events wise, we got it all. We did the whole thing. It's interesting that this only gives 3 of these, because I think if you get the other pack, you get 6. Now, people often comment and say, Doc, how do I get, what's one of the best ways to get the tactical backpack? I actually believe it's with these special forces packs. So we're going to get 3 here. We're going to take all of these. I don't typically do this event rinse and repeat, but if you have the opportunity to do this, files with rare blueprints are awesome. They are awesome, especially if you're still working on some mods. So if you need that, you can also see some carbon composites, some springs in here from time to time, some factory parts as well. So gun oil is actually really, really good. You usually see some type of weapon modification here in these kind of middle rows. This event, I tell people all the time, you should be doing. There are some decent ways you can get through the first couple of levels with just melee and heals. And then, again, essentially just use the weapons that get the bonuses, just like any other event. And you can take the bosses down with, I'll say, relative ease. You are going to spend some resources, but it's worth throwing some guns, not necessarily to get the packs, but to get a few of these items, I think, and then ultimately to get files with rare blueprints, because you get so many, is super worth, in my opinion. So that's pretty awesome. So we knocked these out. I don't know if we'll open up any packs, but we already had some special forces packs. We had 6 from, I think it was from the greedy event. What was that from? Something we had 6 of these from. But if we go to open these up, here is probably your best chance of getting some tactical backpacks. So hopefully you have that. Not everybody has special forces packs. Sometimes you see some, like I said, some different things in there. If I was going to do this again and reset this, if I needed the files with rare blueprints, I'm actually not going to open these because I don't need them. But I'm going to hold out. I'm going to hold out hope that these become important later. Maybe if they update weapon mods and what you can find in these, like the Dragunov specifically, or if they introduce any additional mods, maybe we can get them inside of these files with rare blueprints. We're going to start hanging on to these, and we'll do a pack opening. I'll do the special forces packs here at the end of the season, I think is probably what we're going to end up doing. So a little bit of a shorter video today, but I wanted to take on the rest, finalize the arena with the drone. Hopefully you enjoyed, and our little discussion about the drone. Like I said, lots more Last Day on Earth content coming at you. Continuing on with our free-to-play series, we're going to be jumping into, obviously, the next event coming up, which by the time this posts should either be live or about to be live. So check back in if you're watching this within the first 24 hours. Check back in the next day. We should have some new content up focusing on the next event and everything that's going on with it, which, again, I am hopeful that this Follow the Easter Bunny one is going to be better. I am hopeful. I'm hopeful it's like some of the other seasonal events we've seen recently outside of the greedy event. I think lots of folks have gone to the socials, and Kafir asked for some feedback on their socials about the event. I saw some pretty solid comments in terms of how it could have been improved and some of the issues with it and some of the concerns. And I thought, while some people weren't as constructive as they could have been, lots of people were, and I hope that that feedback is taken seriously and they look to use that to improve future events. And I'm excited for this one. I am excited. I'm also excited that I'm hoping the next thing that we see, and I like seasonal events, I really do. I think they're a good way for, again, people to get some materials and some supplies. Again, they show here a tactical backpack, which is something that lots of pokes really want to try to grab. The mannequin is extra cool. We already have one of these actually at our base. We'll see if we can get another one, but it's really neat. So I'm excited to see what either replaces this or comes to be a part of it. And again, hopefully this is just a fun seasonal event where you can get lots of rewards along the way. I think the last 2 outside of the greedy event were really good and were reasonable for people, even free-to-play players. We were basically able to max both of the previous 2 seasonal events, so hopefully this one is similar. But I'm hoping after this seasonal event, hopefully here in the near future, we see kind of a bigger update. I think it's time for the game. Lots of stuff has been introduced, but I know there's lots of players that are looking for a new location and looking for new things to do. So hopefully that's on its way. We can hope, and hopefully we hear from Kafir soon on that, or plans for that here. But I would expect that we gotta probably be seeing something here, I would think, relatively soon to keep some things fresh. But we're gonna have a good season. I'm excited for that. And like I said, check back here after this video goes up. Like I said, about a day or so, this should be live. Let's take a look at the event calendar. Yeah, we'll post this, and we should be rocking and rolling. And it's another one. It's about a week-long event, so hopefully it's a good one. It'll be going during supply as well, which is really good. These two events are going to mirror up really nicely, actually, especially if this requires us to jump around to these different locations and kill zombies. That will be a huge bonus for this event. So that is nice timing for folks. But we'll talk about that when this event goes live, and look forward to seeing you over in that video or videos as we cover it and jump in. So I'm going to flash some socials, like, comment, subscribe, check out some other content on the channel. We're going to post a card up here somewhere for a video for you to click on. Click it for me. That'd be great. Thanks. And thanks for just being a part of the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 10K and beyond. That's our next big goal. And we just appreciate all the support and love chatting with you in the comments. So drop one of those down below. I've been Doc, Average Gamer Guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.